Hello folks, this is Captain Knickknack speaking, and welcome to FSRideAlong. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, and I'm trying it as an optional video podcast, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm just trying to experiment with a few things and expand my knowledge, as it were. I am currently at flight level 380 in the 777-200ER GE model from PMDG, 0.84 Mach, LNAV and VNAV are going, and I'm at 38,000 feet, so been in the air now 4 hours and 3 minutes, so things are pretty routine, not much to report. I just wanted to say that I finally got Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I got it at the end of September. I've been playing around with it a little bit. Kind of like some things, kind of don't like other things. But I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, I'll start transitioning over to 2024. And it'll be really nice to see PMDG do the 737 in there. Because I live in the Seattle area, I'm most interested in the 737-900ER and -9 MAX. So those are the variants I'm looking to see. They haven't announced, PMDG hasn't announced that they're going to work on the MAXes yet, I think, but it's got to be somewhere in the pipeline, especially with them recently completing that project with Boeing, so I'm hoping. I'm also hoping that the 777X, if that ever comes from Boeing, will come from PMDG as well. And yeah, yesterday I flew the Horizon Simulation 787-9. It's not a horrible plane for something that has a skeleton based on the Asobo release, but it's still not my favorite, and I still wish we could get a 787 of quality into the Microsoft Flight Simulator world. We got the 777. The 757 is supposedly on the way, along with the 76. I forget who's doing those at the moment, but I know they're working on it. And it would just be nice to see the rest of the Boeing lineup in the Microsoft side of things. I'd say I'm actually flying mostly Microsoft these days, but I still prefer the physics of X-Plane, and every time I go back and forth between Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane, I completely forget how to land in the other one. It's very frustrating, and I think this is because Microsoft has a version of physics that it's invented, and X-Plane has something close to real-world physics, which is why X-Plane has generally been used as a certified simulator base more often. It's just Microsoft is just starting to get around to that arena. With this generation of sim, of course, we had that before in P3D. And I don't know if P3D is still going or not. I haven't thought about it or used it since PMDG switched away from it. So that's where I'm at with that. And if you happen to be watching the video, I've been chasing the evening sun all day. And unfortunately, I'm recording this on the 29th of November. It's gotten to that point in the Northern Hemisphere where the sun is just not going to rise again before I get to Seattle. So it's gone for good. It's just kind of permanent dusk as I cruise, presumably over Greenland. Yep, over Greenland. Just approaching the western coast. So, and I hit a button. That's what I did. I hate it when I hit buttons when I'm switching the windows, but I'm trying to get used to this whole video podcast thing, this idea. And it is better for the concept of FSRideAlong in that you get to see the takeoffs and the landings. I recorded a full flight the other day, but I didn't do voiceover work for it yet, so I may or may not do that. Wasn't the best flight in the world, but it was a flight. It was a 737 flight from Oakland, California to Seattle, Washington. And if you're just joining me in the audio version of this, as I'm recording this, I'm at 38,000 feet en route from London Heathrow to SeaTac. And I've been in the air now 4 hours and 8 minutes. I left the gate 4 hours and 20 minutes ago, but I didn't do a very good job of taxiing today. And at the minute, I've got 2,591 miles to go, estimating arrival at 4:52 local time, and I'll have 10.2 kilograms of fuel, 10,200 kilograms of fuel remaining when I touch down there at SeaTac. For the arrival, again, I do these videos without A2C because it makes my life easier, because it's not realistic in an airline environment anyway to have one pilot doing the radios and the flying, so I just want to focus on the flying, so that's why I mostly fly offline. Different experience, I'll grant you, but it's what I want out of my simulation experience. So that's what I record the videos doing. And I even recorded a sunrise the other day. Just the idea, or my idea, was it's like a flight sim zen sort of thing. Instead of somebody talking at you the whole time, you just, if you're a fan of flight simulation, you just watch it. That's what I enjoy doing in cruise most of the time, trying to monitor the plane and then keep my mind from wandering and keep everything all focused. So I'm trying to think what else I wanted to cover here. I'm just gonna check my notes, see if there's any breaking flight sim news or anything like that that's hit. I think because we took the NavGraph survey early last year to do the release of 2024, we won't get the NavGraph survey now till winter, spring of 2026. So yeah, the highlights I'm seeing right now, of course, a lot of Black Friday sales. As I'm recording this on the Saturday after Black Friday, so that's going on. People are real excited. Seems like they're real excited about the A330-300. I'm thinking about it, but I'm not really an A340 fan. It just seems like an A330 with more engines and more to manage. And the 300 too, I don't know the range of it, but it's got to be less than a 777. So I'd rather get a 600, but I don't want the 600 from Aerosoft, even though Toulouse is working on it. So that's me. Phoenix Simulation has confirmed that their A320neo won't be happening in 2025. That isn't a big surprise to me anyway. These things take time. And credit to them, Inibuilds continues to update the A350. I want to see an A350 1000 ULR when that comes out. I'm hoping they'll do that. And then of course there's this weird thing that Microsoft is doing, which is releasing Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 on PS5, which just, I guess they want to expand their market, but that doesn't make much sense to me. And looks like we've got some ATC sims coming out, so that'll be interesting. Oh, and the other big news on the X-Planes side that I forgot about was the Flight Factor 777 freighter is out, which should theoretically mean that their 200LR shouldn't be far behind, I would hope. I don't know about their 787. I'm eager for that in X-Plane as well, but I'm sure that'll be X-Plane 13, not X-Plane 12, unfortunately. And that's... Oh, I hadn't read about this. I mean, I read about it, but I didn't read in detail. Navigraph has launched the Navigraph Academy as a free virtual private pilot training platform. Earn your VPPL thanks to Navigraph's new brand new free training. That actually seems kind of cool. There might be some skills I want to brush up on that. And of course, there's always new people coming into the hobby. In real life, I've done private pilot ground school, instrument ground school, and an ATC class. So I have some formal aviation background and training. Don't get to use it in the real world, but I wish I could. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm also trying to keep myself updated on the Air India and UPS crashes. The Air India crash looks like it's going to be one of those where the investigation is going to be complicated because of politics, and that sucks because what I know of it was that according to the initial report on the CBR, one pilot asked the other why he shut the engines down on takeoff or on climb out, and because they had the engine shut down on climb out, they couldn't get airborne and subsequently crashed. And if that's true, that needs to be investigated. But also, the Indian Pilots Association is saying that it could be a systemic problem with the 787 and this needs to be investigated. Which seems like the prudent thing to do, you know, make sure that in the course of the investigation, you know, it wasn't some sort of computer fault. The 787, like the 777, is fly-by-wire. So there is a computer that sits in between, either one computer or two computers, I can't remember, that sits between the pilots and the thrust lever. Or not the thrust lever, the actual commanded thrust on the engines. So if there's an issue there that caused the engines to be commanded to shut down when they weren't commanded to shut down, I hope they find that if that's the case. Of course, it could be also pilot error or pilot intentionality. We don't know yet, so we're gonna have to stay tuned on that one. I can't think of anything else right at the minute to talk about, but I do want to produce these more, and if you like them, please leave a like and a comment, and I'll try to produce more of them. If you have feedback for me, I'd appreciate it. NICNACJAK@gmail.com. And what I'll do is I'll make a video, upload it to YouTube with the talkie bit in the middle, and do the exported talkie bit just as a regular FSRideAlong podcast for the podcast feed. So that's what my plan is for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this. The 777, I gotta say, is a really enjoyable plane. It's one of Boeing's best products, in my opinion, as a simmer, as someone who's only simulated the airplane. And I hope the 777X gets all the problems ironed out and is safely certified and in the skies over my head very soon. So with that, till next time, if you're listening to the audio, stay safe, stay sane, happy landings. And if you're watching the video, stay tuned for the landing. Thanks. Hey folks, it's Nick Knack here, and I am cruising along at 40,000 feet, now in the 777-200ER, as British Airways 49 still headed towards Seattle. I've got 214 miles to go to the top of descent, so that's about the time I'd like to start my briefing. So I've got the weather. Looks like winds from the north at 6 knots, 360 at 6. Broken cloud 7,500, overcast skies 9,000, 7 degrees, altimeter 3013. According to active skies, so I've got 3013 pre-selected, and the autopilot's trying to keep this level at 40,000 right now. So I am planning. Let's see if the software will cooperate with us here. I'm gonna go search arrival, and it does that. It sometimes does that. We're using Glacier 3. I'm going to try the ILS for runway 34 left, even though that's the shorter runway at SeaTac. 8,500 feet shouldn't be a problem, but I like to land on longer runways if I can help it. 34 left would be the realistic runway, I feel, if I were flying in the real world. And we also want the airport diagram, which I cannot seem to find. There we go. And the ramp information, and I'll get my gate from flight there. So we'll go back to Penn, go through Glacier 3 here. Pretty simple arrival. Done this more times than I can count. But it's over. Excuse me. It's over Cranbrook, Spokane, Temple, Withrow, O'Doul, Glacier, and then Jackson. And at Jackson we want to be, let's see, we're landing north, so we want to be at 16,000, above 16,000 feet, 270 knots. So let's check that in Light's page. 270 above 16,000. Woody below 14,000, and Heather 250.12. So Woody 270 below 14,000, Heather 250.12, and we'll depart Heather on a heading of 163, so we get that pre-selected. bottom restriction there is 12,000, so I'll set that in the MCP because there's no ATC to tell us when to descend, so it'll just be in a Boeing automatically start descending at topic descent, which is fine for my purposes today. Heading 163, it'll be self-vectoring onto the ILS for 34 left for Sea Dog. And Sea Dog. And then we'll be headed to tracking towards Hipro at 5,000, Jost at 4, Gallon 24. Hipro 5, Jost at 4, Gallon 170, 24. So I'll keep 170 until the final approach fix. And it'll be down the 3-degree glide slope, down to a minimum of 200 feet on the radial altimeter. So I'll set that. 200 feet is set. Airplane's going to call me approaching minimums and minimums. I'm going to call them your go around in the event of go around. We climb to 900 feet, then climb the left turn on a heading 300 outbound on Seattle 310 to Luxor. At or above 3,000, then climb to 5,000 outbound on the Seattle 310 to Lopal and hold. And that's out over Elliott Bay, so shouldn't have any terrain concerns, so I'll check that in a minute. So going back to the legs page, climb on track at 344 to 900 feet, then Websub at 3,000, Lopal at 5,000 and hold, so that all looks good for me. And the highest sector safe should be to the east at 6,400 feet. It is indeed. I've memorized this chart. Airport elevation 433 feet. We've got auto pressurization going for us, so that's not concerning until 7. It knows where it's going. It knows what to depressurize to. And if there were any problems, I can ICAS alert. So localize our frequency 110.75, approach course 344. Check the nav page 110.75, approach course 344. So that leaves me to do some math. Let's see, we're projecting 9.5 tons of fuel untouched. We have 12.5 now, so that means we're going to lose 3 tons of fuel before we get there. So our landing weight will be 173.5. Like the speed's acceptable, so I'm going to go flaps 25. That will give me a VRAF of 132, approach 137. And I'll put that into the EFD to calculate our stopping distance at 8,500 feet to stop. I'll go out of bridge 3. And then do the performance. And that weight is going to be 173. Oh, not in pounds, not in pounds. So without a brakes 3, that'll get me to stop in 6,046 feet. I wonder if I can get away without a brakes 2. It's running up for 2 button. Yeah, I think I can. So let's ease off on the brakes and go to auto brakes 2. For the comfort of the passengers and also so the brakes don't overheat. Hate it when that happens. When the next flight gets delayed, etc. So approach 137, target BREF 132. I will put up to 132, box 25, so that's all calculated. Alright. We've got 122 miles till about descent, so plenty of time to run our checklist. Probably started a bit soon, but I always like to start sooner rather than later, so if I get distracted, I don't get behind the airplane. So first things first, recall. Just checked.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share some information with you. We'll be flying over Spokane in a few moments. Our altitude is 40,000 feet, and our speed is 920 kilometers per hour. Temperature outside is minus 55 degrees. Rest of the flight should be smooth. In case of any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our cabin crew members. Thank you, and enjoy the flight.
Wow, when you convert knots to kilometers an hour, it really sounds like you're going fast. Anyway, recall is checked. Notes, there are no notes. Auto brakes 2. Landing data. BREF 132, approach 137, minimum is 200 set. And approach briefing is standing completed. Alright, I'll see you guys on the descent. In the meantime, enjoy these lovely views that I will hopefully edit together. And I'm a dodo that got through the rest of my day, so let's finish this up. So 8,500 feet to stop, projected stop distance 6,339. Go back to the charts. Airport chart. So it would be nice if I'm going slow enough to get off of Echo, failing that Zulu, and either Echo or Charlie across to Bravo, right turn to Bravo, and then into the ramp area, and we'll make a left turn at 88 off of Bravo. And according to FlightAware, they're arriving in 33 minutes, so they're ahead of me. And they're arriving at gate S10 now, Sierra 10. So that shouldn't be too hard to find here. Let's switch to night charts. Coming night. So A8, there's slight right to gate 010, and that'll complete my arrival. Now the checklist are done. Keep them on iOS, reference my goal around altitude and it's been flat. No alternates today. The weather's pretty good in Seattle. So, should be a pretty routine ride. And a very pretty one in fact. So, I'll go back to letting you enjoy the views and talk to you in the back. Alright, so we're coming up on top of descent. The autopilot should use descent to 12,000 feet on its own, obeying all restrictions in the thousands. I realize that's not necessarily the most realistic way to descend, but this is the way. Again, not a real airline pilot, just a simmer. So, just monitor as we go down. Idle element being attacked. Not the smoothest of transitions ever. Live with some bugginess sometimes. And cold, so I'll just bring my throttle down and monitor it as I go down. So I'll keep you guys up. Beautiful sunset, and you'll see some of the mountains we got below. So that's nice. Mount Rainier, I think. And then St. Helens for lots of volcanoes. Try not to think about that. Pressure set. U013. 013. And there we go with an absolutely smashing view of Lake Washington and Puget Sound, and the sun just sank below the horizon. So, beautiful approaches. Try to do my best not to screw it up. It looks like we've got once I clear Heather here, I'm gonna go down to 5,000. Yeah, less. Back to myself. Speed on that. I don't know what it is, so cut myself off correctly, but anyway. 5,000. reference LNAV flight information. Start to slow down. Let's try 9 knots. Slow the speed as well. When we're bars to come.
2500.
Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. Off.
300, 400, 400. Approaching minimums. Minimums. 100, 50, 30, 20, 10.
Parking job in the world, but I don't care.
Cabin crew, disarm doors and cross-check.
Doors will be opened shortly. Please remember to take all your personal belongings with you. Make sure you have everything you brought on board. Thank you.
So shutdown checklist complete. And it's down to secure. ADI review is done. Emergency lights and packs have been come after everybody's actually off the airplane. So not a bad little flight. 9 hours and 40 minutes in the air. Thanks to my interesting taxi, 9 hours and 56 minutes gate to gate. I am a little bit behind the real airplane today. Again, I was British Airways. What was I? 49, I think, today. Let me look. Second person to arrive at Jack. Yes, British Airways 49. The vital statistics of the landing, in case you're curious. Not very good alignment, not in the touchdown zone, but I did my best. 198 feet a minute. I was slow at 119 knots, so that's not good. G-force of 1.05, and the wind was 340 at 2, so not bad, all things considered. So that's it for me. Till next time, happy landings.